Tes. Oke. Bisa dengar suaraku? Can you hear my voice here? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's finally done. So hello everyone and welcome to my first stream ever, I think. Other than my debut stream, of course. Yeah, in this stream, what I will explain is basically just what I look into in my servers, and then also I want to talk about the practice of self-hosting your own services, and also some story time about an incident that I will probably would not forget, because when it was in the news, like, I was really shocked that it appeared. So yeah, to make things short, let's just dive right into let's just dive right into the meat of the details. So yeah, what is basically self-hosting is, it's the practice of having and administrating your own server to host your personal data and services instead of relying on third parties. So for example, one of the most prolific service providers on the internet is Google, for example. You might use, like, for example, Gmail for email, and then you also use stuff like Google Docs and Google Drive for storing your files and documents. Well, those who self-host, they do it on their own server. They store their own files. They set up their own email server, for example, to send email. There's actually a lot of services that you can try hosting your own, and I do have a lot of them. And then next, why self-host? I outlined around two major reasons why I self-host. The first of all is I self-host to practice server administration. Yeah, where do you guess I learned to use Kubernetes from? Yeah, I actually tried it myself. And then it's kind of very complicated to use, but I enjoy learning this stuff because I know that this is one of the things that a lot of large companies use, so getting familiar with it is a huge bonus. Then I also learned how to operate a lot of software related to systems management, like I tried Terraform that one time. And also you learn some bits of Linux, because yeah, most servers use Linux. In fact, probably, yeah, most of websites use Linux to host their services. And then the second reason is control of data and services, because yeah, first of all, big tech is quite scary. When you, for example, I think that you must, for example, be trusting Google to secure a lot of your data, and while they have, for example, hello, Arik Fajar, hello. Yeah, let me continue then. Yeah, big tech is scary. Imagine when one company holds a lot of things about you. Someone is watching your every move. Yeah, not really, but yeah, companies know lots of things about you, whether it's about what you like for targeted ads, of course. And yeah, imagine a world where a single company holds a lot of power over you by holding your data. And there have been some cases where there have been some cases where people's data have been lost because of these companies. I will talk about them later. Yeah. Well, I can move things around more easily because I own the data. So if I want to move my data from, for example, Indonesia to Singapore or perhaps France or even the United States, it's no big deal. I literally just copy my files around and then I put it in a new server and then that's it. I have moved my data to another country without much problem. And then my data's fate is not reliant on a company's whims. So for you content creators out there, you might be feeling one thing where you feel YouTube might be unfair to you, whether it's like, oh, my content was claimed by copyright, or your stream or video is just straight up taken down by YouTube due to some unknown factors. All YouTube will say is that you violated their community standards, but yeah, there isn't really a more specific reason to that, unless YouTube tells you. So yeah, basically, you are dependent on Google and YouTube to just not take down your channel. And because it's pretty hard to migrate data of YouTube, it's actually pretty scary. And that's the reason I also host my own video website so that I could archive my streams and videos. And then finally, that I also don't really trust companies to hold my own private data. Yeah, again, I don't want Google, for example, to know what I do, like what I do on the internet. I may ask, so what if we're hosting our web apps on big tech services such as GCP or AWS? Well, the safest option for self-hosting is actually like you just put it on your own computer right at your place. But that can be hard for some people. Not everyone is really into, like building your own computer just for servers and then setting it up. It's pretty complicated. It's pretty complicated stuff. But if you cannot like strike up, build your own computer to do those things, the next best thing is hosting it in another person's computer. Yeah, that's basically what the cloud is. It's someone else's computer. And I think like Google Cloud Platform and Amazon Web Services, like they are more interested in like making sure your services run rather than actually like scooping up your data, because the regulation, servers are a bit of a tricky place, because you can't just like access other computers, other people's servers. It's not really possible. I've seen that incident pretty often. Now that it got the attention of bigger content creators, YouTube now had to look into it. Yeah, but I think it still illustrates how one company has much power over what you do, your own content. So yeah, that's why I use that as an example. Some API is provided, but not all. Yeah, and they are usually rate limited. Yeah, I understand, but I understand that because malicious use exists. Malicious use does exist, but If I hold my own data, it won't be a problem because I can just access it directly. Yeah, those are the two reasons I would say that this is my two reasons that why I do self-hosting. There are lots of other reasons that I probably won't dwell into in this stream, but yeah, just so you know, there are many legitimate reasons why people self-host stuff. And then, yeah, now let's talk about, actually let's talk about my own servers here. Let's, I'm talking about what I use to host my own stuff. What I actually use for, like, for example, domains. Well, yeah, I currently use a German hosting provider. It's misspelled here, don't mind. Please don't mind me. It should be spelled Hetzner. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, I first heard of this company from several open source projects that use Hetzner to host their infrastructure. They also provide dedicated servers. So like, and you buy an actual server. Yeah, rent actual servers. But yeah, I currently use their cloud offering because it fits my use case pretty well for now, but you know, I really wanted I wanted an actual dedicated server because it's quite awesome actually, and Hetzner is, I think, is the cheapest dedicated server provider right now. With they even have a server auction where you can buy servers for like less than usual. Why Hetzner? Haven't heard of it before. Yeah, the main reason is actually price, because like it's 4 times cheaper. It's 4 times cheaper, like 4 times cheaper than the usual cloud providers. Like for example, like DigitalOcean, they usually provide 1 GB of RAM for their $5 offering, right? Yeah, Hetzner actually provides 2 for half the price, which is, yeah, it's actually quite amazing. But they only have data centers in Germany and Finland, so that if you want your server to be close to Indonesia, for example, yeah, Hetzner is probably not an option for you. But if you just want cheap servers, then it is definitely for you. I have used them for around a year, almost 2 years. But yeah, I'm really happy using the services. Although I do have some outages. In like 3-hour outage that happened like 1 or 2 weeks before my debut, which is quite annoying. But yeah, in the end, all works well. Yeah, Europe-based provider offer you a decent server with cheapest price. Kudos. Yeah, I think so too, because yeah, most people only hear about the US-based hosting companies, especially the 3 big tech, for example, and also like DigitalOcean. But yeah, Europe-based providers rock. And for the DNS hosting, I currently use Cloudflare because I actually experimented with using their processing service for a while, but in the end I decided not to use their processing service because they only really proxy HTTP and I have a lot more ports than HTTP that I need to expose. Like for example, yeah, my mail server, so in the end I just don't use them anymore. And then finally for the domain, I just bought it from Namecheap. And you can check it. You can check the Whois data yourselves. Okay, yeah, it's my okay. Okay, let me check the tracking first. Okay, it's going well. And then so for how I structure my servers, like I currently have 3 servers, and yeah, I have just moved them into a Kubernetes base. I just moved them to Kubernetes, all my services. And also, fun fact, I name my servers after characters. The control plane is named, of course, Mitsumine Yuika. And then the worker servers, I named them quite curiously actually. Unectus, the Art Knights operator, and Mana Nagase from Idly Pride. For some reason, I have started naming things after Idly Pride characters, so that was something. And then finally, I previously had 3 domains named. Like, yeah, I previously have 3, but I have to let go of 1 because of the pandemic and me not having much income to support 3 domain names at the same time. This is what I use for, this is how I run my servers, and this is probably making me slightly more vulnerable, but in the interest of education, I will just talk about them here. Yeah, servers are cool and all, but yeah, not everyone can manage their own server because there are some troubles regarding hosting your own. Moe is expensive, understandable, wait, quite. But yeah, I think it's around like 1/2 the price of the com domain, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's pretty expensive. But Moe is, the Moe domain is pretty cute. That's why I ended up stuck using it. And then finally, not all can host it because first of all, you need to be at least somewhat experienced in Linux systems management. I have 1 sentence to tell you about this. Do not fear the command line interface because it is seriously the most powerful feature of Linux. Like, there's a lot of things that you can automate with the Linux scripting interface, and truth be told, I am too comfortable using the Linux command line to to comfortably use Windows, and even in Windows, I still use the command line extensively. But yeah, I would like to ask, is anyone interested in the step-by-step series talking about Linux? Let's learn about running a Linux distribution and then hosting your own services. Is anyone interested in doing this? Is it hot in your area? Hosting around with hot surrounding would be pretty hard. Yeah, computer heat is pretty nasty. But also that I don't actually host it here right now, but I plan to move things around to my own servers now that I have a decent internet connection that I can use for streaming and uploading stuff at the same time. It is pretty neat. Yeah, Linux? Yeah. I'm currently working on the step-by-step series, and Linux is one of the things that I'm considering a series where you can learn about running your own Linux server and then what it takes to, for example, host, for example, like your own website or your own email server or something. It's actually a pretty interesting topic. Yeah, it would be pretty interesting to see VTuber does content about teaching, especially about tech. Yeah, that is actually like one of the reasons that I wanted to become a VTuber is because I haven't really seen someone actually teach about tech. So I tried, yeah, I basically tried to have my own shot at it. And while, yeah, teaching is even harder than learning, so I need to like research first about what do I cover in this series. But I just want to ask if there's any interest if I make a tutorial series about, yeah, Linux. And then the second reason is where I want to talk about some story because this is pretty wild. Yeah, if anything happens, you're on your own. Yeah. Yeah, the worst case is that your server burns down in the fire, and I'm not joking. Yeah, this is real and this is tragic. Be the first. Who knows? Hey. Yeah, it will. I'm also actually very interested in seeing if a tutorial series will even take off at all, but I will probably try my best here. Yeah, if any. Yeah, this is actually real. Someone said that, yeah, Kurokuma Wakaba said, is that OVH accident? And you are absolutely right. That is the OVH incident. The story time, this is quite a wild ride actually. Like, when I wake up in the morning and then suddenly this news pops up, and it's a pretty harrowing experience to see. Okay, let's just... Yeah, this is an image from when the OVH data center in Strasbourg, France got caught on fire. It's not pretty at all. Like, this is the worst case that actually happened. Never seen real case scenario about it, and here on stream you're seeing the real case scenario because this is actually real. And this happened in 2021 too, when I thought... Actually, that's the original caption for this picture. When I thought 2021 cannot get worse, it gets worse with this. Okay, let's switch to my phone to see what is actually, yeah. Basically, the founder of OVH live tweeted, yeah, that's recently? Yes, it's in 2021. Yup, it's like just, yeah, 3 months ago. 3 months ago that this fire incident happened. So let me just move to my phone here to showcase. Well, we're all panicked at the time, haha. Yeah, that was quite the panic there. And especially because I also host my servers in Europe, that caused me some thinking as well actually. That actually pushed me to do backups. Like I purposely did not back up at all my servers. That was a bet. that was a bad thing, but yeah, because of that OVH incident, I took steps to actually do some automated backups with scripts. It's yeah. Okay, let's just see about this. Let's switch to my. Okay, let me check. Let me switch to my phone here so that we can see things. Okay, so the founder of OVH was live tweeting at the time of the fire, and you're seeing it on screen right now. We have a major incident on SBG2. The fire declared in the building. Firefighters were immediately on the scene but could not control the fire in SBG2. The whole site has been isolated, which impacts all services in SBG 1 to 4. We recommend to activate your disaster recovery plan. That sentence sent me chills down the spine, right there. When your hosting company said that sentence, we recommend to activate your disaster recovery plan. Yeah. It's some serious time. You freak up real time. Okay, yeah. Update 5:20 p.m. Everybody is safe. Fire destroyed SBG2. A part of SBG1 is destroyed. Firefighters are protecting SBG3. No impact SBG4. Yeah. This is actually nerve-wracking to see this in real time. Just, yeah, looking at this thread is just pure. This is just pure concern right here. And then this is actually one of the things I actually like is that OVH actually posted a video talking about the information they have today, one day after the incident. And yeah, this is actually the founder talking directly, and oh my god, look at it. Okay, just look at his eyes here. This is just wow. This incident must have made him not sleep for quite some time. This is very scary. Okay, yeah, this is pain. Yeah, the face of fear and shock. Yeah. Yeah, I am actually just I'm also feeling it on myself. Just seeing that is just wow. But it's yeah, I really applaud OVH for doing this because of the transparency in communicating about the status of their servers. Because this I really wouldn't have wished this on anyone. You never know you never know if you will be the one who got hit next. That incident taking toll on the owner. Definitely. Not a good time for him financially. Yeah, I think that's true, especially because I think at the time OVH is actually preparing for an IPO, and then this happens. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Yeah, I really like OVH for giving the customers daily updates like this. Yeah, I think talking about this is really is somehow quite depressing. Just talking about the OVH file is now it really feels unreal at that time when I was looking on my page, looking on my timeline, and then just seeing this news is not pleasant at all. Okay, let me switch back to the presentation that I have. Yeah. Not good stuff. So, yeah, I would say run your own services if you want to learn the basics of systems administration, you are willing to learn Linux, you are willing to learn all of the technologies that make up those services. 2, you want full control of your data, you want to host your own files, your own schedule, for example. And then finally, you can deal with any problems that might appear. If a service that you rely on is something that you host yourself and then it suddenly goes down, it is up to you to fix that. Yeah, even if I self-host most of my stuff, the accounts that I use for my hosting providers are hosted somewhere else. Well, it's not Google or even a Microsoft email. It's on a something called a tilt, which is even, yeah, there's quite a lot of explanations that I think I'm not ready to give this time, but yeah, I basically host the emails for my accounts for example, Cloudflare, Namecheap, and Hetzner somewhere else, so that if my server goes down, that I can move it to somewhere else, and then if I lost my account and my servers at the same time, it won't be hell. So with that in mind, let's talk about how to run your own system. I would say there are basically 2 options that I use. One is just buy a Raspberry Pi and install a server operating system in it. And another is to rent a server from a hosting provider. While it probably does not count as true self-hosting, but it gets the job done and it's the next best thing to happen. Rather than, for example, just using Gmail or Google Drive. Okay, this is the first option to run a Raspberry Pi. There are several operating systems options for a Raspberry Pi itself. For starters, I would recommend using Raspberry Pi OS, which is the server that is the OS that is actually the official one of the Raspberry Pi. It's based on Debian, and there's lots of tutorials for installing stuff on this particular OS. The second option is to go bleeding edge and install Arch Linux ARM. I would say that option is probably for the more technically advanced, but if you know your way on Linux, you can do it. And Raspberry Pi is good for example, hosting your own simple services at home. But if you want for it to be accessible to the wired internet, for example, to host your own website or email server, you will need a static IP address. And I would not really recommend hosting your own email server at home because all the complications that come with hosting your own email, it's pretty a pain. It's pretty painful. I've been there once and then I pretty much just built my own container with all the email servers that I use so that I won't be bothered to just set up manually. And then I actually do have a Raspberry Pi that I use as a home server. Yeah, hello, this is the services that I use. And I would like to just directly show you here what it looks like on my home server so that, yeah. I'm switching right now to my window capture again just to capture the page. Yep. It has since changed the name because of some change in my network topology so that I can directly connect to my modem. But here it is. There's a lot of uses for this, but the one I primarily use is the downloader, torrent, and music player. Yeah, because I switch operating systems a lot, having this on the Raspberry Pi is really helpful because it allows me to play just about anything while my computer is restarting, so it's really neat. And the downloader and torrent is so that I can download things while my computer's not on. I also set up a personal certificate authority in the past so that I can connect directly with HTTPS to my own services. But that doesn't work now due to that change and I have to connect with an IP address now. And then the hosting provider, there are actually lots of options. While yeah, I use Hetzner. They are located in Germany and they are the cheapest that I can find. Oh, oops. I forgot to switch the display here. Yeah, there are a lot of options if you want to use hosting providers. I currently use Hetzner, which again, I say they are located in Germany, and their servers are the cheapest that I can currently find. And OVH, despite the incident, they actually have pretty nice pricing. Like, they are like half the price of DigitalOcean droplets. Slightly more than half actually, but yeah. For example, the 1 GB memory option in DigitalOcean is $5. In OVH for $6 you can get 2. But one of the things that I like about DigitalOcean is because they have lots of documentation to set up the most popular services. You can also use the big 3 cloud providers like Amazon Web Services and Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, but I will say that they are geared towards more professional use cases and they are usually more expensive. They are, yeah. I've tried them, but yeah, it's just too expensive for me, and I ended up finding the cheapest I can, and that's why I arrived at the option of Hetzner. And then domain names. If you want to host your stuff to the public internet, you need to have a domain name. I currently have two, and I use Namecheap for both of them. But I don't really have a current recommendation on this one. Researching your own is highly recommended. You can you can search your own, but so far my experience with Namecheap is pretty good. First of all, their prices are competitive. They also have live chat, and that actually helped me immensely when I was transferring some domains from an old unresponsive provider to the Namecheap, and they actually responded quite fast to the live chat. Imho, Europe-based provider is cheap and their server is neat, but their support is not that good. For some cases, yes. But if technical reasons, they actually responded. Yeah, it's not lightning fast, but it's pretty acceptable. That one time my server actually had an outage, and it actually affects my Kubernetes control plane. Okay, that was pain. Headstone actually responded pretty fast. Like in around 30 minutes, they have the answer that, yeah, the node where I hosted the problematic server is having trouble, and then it took another hour for it to recover, but yeah, I know what is happening, and then yeah, I can just hope that the engineers are doing their best, because outages are not fun. Yeah, for the ones who host the services on their servers, but especially the engineers having to troubleshoot and fix the problems. There's a reason why the HackOps hashtag exists in Twitter. Yeah, it's because sometimes the software engineers themselves don't actually have lots of spotlight on what they do to restore the services back to online, and what the people usually think is because it's done. I can't use my stuff anymore. But yeah, being a system administrator is not. Yeah, it's not something that just 9 to 5. But yeah, if your website, your server is suddenly down at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, yeah, they have to respond to that. It's crazy stuff out there. I wouldn't wish anyone, even my enemy, on just having the servers constantly crashing. That is not fun. That is not fun. Okay, let's talk about what to host on the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, there's lots of software that you can host on a Raspberry Pi, but one of my favorite candidates is Nextcloud for cloud storage and services. It's fully open source, and it's based on the famous PHP MySQL stack. It basically has everything like a normal cloud provider would provide. Like for example, you have files, calendars, contacts, notes, to-do list, even an email client and a social media. It can replace Google Drive and the like. And okay, I linked the Nextcloud installation guide here. It's a pretty involved one, but I think that yeah, basic server administration is enough. You just need to be able to read this. And then another service that I like is a media server, and then a very promising one is Jellyfin. You can watch films, videos, listen to music, look at pictures. Even they even handle books. And also it has a really decent music client. And I really like this application because its integration is just top notch. And if you want to learn setting up Jellyfin, it's a bit more involved because it is built on .NET. But you can learn about how to set up in the documentation here. And then next is hosting. For hosting providers, you can start with a website. First of all, you can get a place on the internet, and then you get a place for you to write things you like. And then WordPress is one of the more accessible options out there. They have lots of guides, they have lots of themes, they have lots of plugins. And it has that 5-minute install, so it's really fast to get started. However, for my blog, I migrated to Ghost, which is something that is more of a publishing platform. It's more of a publishing platform, and I personally use it because its interface is great, and I was able to design my own look for my own theme for the website. So if you see my blog right now, yeah, I wrote the theme myself. Let me switch to the browser for a while. Yeah, this is all designed by myself. It's pretty nice, but I think I can improve a lot on the design. Okay, switching back to the presentation right here. Yeah, I quite like my blog. Yeah, and then also another service that popularly must be self-hosted on providers is that it's email. You get your own really cool email address, and I have a @damillora.com domain for emails. And I highly recommend to use containers to set up your mail server because yeah, email servers are quite complicated to set up. So pulling a container that someone else already made for email is great. And then you must relay your outgoing emails because IP trustworthiness is really important in the email space. You cannot just like spin up the server and get you to just send emails directly because of the problem of spam. And providers usually block port 25 outgoing to prevent spam, so I have hit that problem multiple times enough so that I started using a relay host for basically everything. This is the one thing that I currently use Amazon for. I use their simple email service for sending out my emails, and so far it's working pretty well. I don't really send lots of messages, so my cost is basically negligible. And then if you have set up one of the first services there, then what's next? There's actually a lot you can go from here. And yeah, I host lots of services, like note taking applications, mail server, feed reader, link shorteners, lots of those. Let me just switch to my browser again to see how many there are. It's, spoiler alert, it's quite a lot. I nearly have the bookmark folder here for just going directly to the services. And yeah, I really like to see this. If for example I open this, you can see that I do have my own bottle for saving fan art, so that I don't have to dig down for source because this has the source I needed. So it's pretty neat. And fun fact, I wrote the application this one myself, and it's open source. Okay, oops, I guess. Okay, there's also a lot of services that I host here. Some of them are obsolete because I don't maintain them enough, but oh, shit, yeah. Okay. That doesn't appear right. That doesn't appear like the bookmarks folder. Oh god, okay, yeah. It doesn't appear, thankfully. Oh yeah, the actual bookmarks doesn't appear here, so yeah. Just imagine that there are lots of links in here. And I actually manage my own VTuber activities using a board here. You can see everything that I'm planning here. Just look at... Okay, yeah, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this, and I forgot to do this. You can see what I'm planning right here. So yeah, it's really neat, and yeah, as I said on my debut stream, I do have plans to have a stream about possibly writing a Discord bot, so there you have it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Very helpful resource here is the awesome self-hosted project here. Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, the board here is what I use to organize my things, my schedules, and my ideas, and it is really helpful in planning. Yeah. Okay. If you are... Okay. If you want to look at which service you can self-host. This is all. Yeah, there is a list of various softwares that you can use, and it's a pretty complete list, having everything from static site generators here, and then to note-taking, games, and even like email, social networks, feed readers, and then file sharing, IoT, even learning, password managers. It's really neat. You can visit it later. I will on GitHub. Just search awesome self-hosted. It's a pretty nice list. Okay, let me switch back to the presentation. Yeah. Alternatively, you can check out the self-hosted subreddit. It's actually a pretty nice resource, and if you're looking for some new software for hosting stuff, it's a pretty neat place. Yeah, but what if you cannot afford your own server? To be honest, there is another topic that I am very interested in, but that is unfortunately out of scope for this stream. Public access servers. That is the tilt that I'm talking about. So yeah. I want to talk about this, but it will be quite some time before I can talk about this because I need to have some research about this, about public access servers. So yeah, let's talk about this at another time. And yeah, it's actually the end of the presentation, so if you have any questions about servers or self-hosting, please do ask. Okay, while waiting for the questions, I will just show some of my infrastructure that I actually use here. First time heard that. Yeah, public. Yep, there's actually like servers that you can apply for access and then use at the same time. I personally joined a tilt server, but there's actually lots of options, and that is not something that I want to talk about in this stream. This stream is about servers and self-hosting, not yet about public access servers, which is another matter entirely. And yeah, if you have any questions, please do ask. Meanwhile, I'm still looking at some of the software that the awesome self-hosted page is listings, because yeah, they're pretty neat. Yeah, that is unheard of before. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic that I wanted to bring, but yeah, that is not really the focus of this stream, so I will talk about it sometime later. I actually kind of want to see it right now, but no, not right now. Yeah, okay, so yeah, if you have any questions regarding servers and self-hosting, please do ask in the chat. I would appreciate any questions that you throw at me. So, okay. Yeah, I'm still looking at the list. I find it mildly interesting that a bookmark manager is named Shiori. Yeah, okay, if there is no further questions, I will probably switch to the free talk stream. I will switch to the free talk for a while, then I will end the stream because yeah, there's not much to talk about actually after this. Shiori, yeah, I will just showcase it on here. It's not maintained for quite some time now, but I used it in the past. Let me check. Okay, let me switch the display yet again. Yeah, simple bookmark manager built with Go. Unfortunately, the last release in 2019 and the last commit is from 2020, so yeah, I don't use it anymore. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah. It has to be done. Like, I might be interested in, just contributing to it, but I don't really have an idea on what to contribute. So what did you think about S3 server? I use it cause I don't need to think about the RAM, CPU, etc. But I want to know your opinion. First of all, what is even S3 server? Because first of all, what I know about S3 is because it's the simplest. The first S3 that I think about is the Amazon S3, the simple storage service. So yeah, I would like you to clarify what do you mean by or S3 server? It's basically just a storage service. Specifically object storage where you can put your files in there. Yeah, oh, you mean the simple storage service? Yes. So it can be adequate for just simple file storage, but probably it's good for files, but just files. I personally use an alternative S3 provider, which is much cheaper and a bit faster too, I think. Probably you have you heard of Wasabi? This is the one that I use. This this is the service that I use, Wasabi. And I do use object storage for stuff that is pretty big, like for example video. And yeah, I actually do host files. Like, did you use it or plan to use it? I am using it. I in fact can log in right now to my console and then just see what buckets that I have. But yeah, I do use DO spaces, but Wasabi is using credit card. Yeah, Wasabi I think only accepts credit card right now, but because I do have a card that I can use. It's not a credit card, but it's something that I can use to pay for Wasabi, so that's the card that I use. Yeah, if you can pay for this, then it's really cheap. This is really cheap. Like 1 terabyte for only $5 is a steal at this point. It's beautiful. Yeah, the way I use this is actually pretty complicated and ugly, but if it works, yeah, it works. I use it for hosting primarily media assets and actually some of my files too. I connect my Nextcloud with Wasabi. Yeah, because storage in servers like this are much more expensive than the 1 terabyte with $5 Wasabi. So yeah. So is Wasabi good? I've been using it for around almost 2 years also, like almost at the same time as hurtful, so that was something. But yeah, I really like, I also really like Wasabi because they're actually they're quite good and they're very cheap. Yeah, and okay, this I just really like this. I can log into the console right now, but I prefer not to because I have to open my password manager here. I just hope it doesn't open it up here. If it doesn't open up, so I'm good. I can probably try to log in right now. And then you can see all the buckets that I use. Actually have a lot of buckets too for storing stuff, so there's that. And yeah, about the thing where I don't sign up for my accounts on providers like this with my self-hosted email. Yeah, it applies here, so I log in using another domain here. Requires an MFA code to log in. I just don't hope that this is displayed on screen, because if it is displayed on screen, it will be not that great. Not good, not great. Let me check out what the actual code is this. Oh, it's displayed. Never mind, it's just one time, so it should be safe. It's only applicable for 30 minutes. 30 seconds. I should be fine. It's just 30 seconds. Okay, Okay, I just accidentally triggered my expressions shortcut here, right? Okay, for real, okay, how do I reset this? This is quite of an awkward situation. Okay, yeah, I haven't mastered using the reactions in here, so I don't really use them anyway, but yeah, in this case you can see that I do have a lot of buckets here. And then I have lots of buckets in here that I use for stuff. I won't dive into them further because of the sensitive nature, but yeah. This is the things that I host on Wasabi. That's quite a lot of bucket, yeah, because I host a lot of services. Yeah, so that's it about Wasabi and S3. Yeah, I must say that S3 is like the pioneer in the object storage space, because if not the pioneer, it's the most famous one. And yeah, a lot of people have made S3 compatibles, because yeah, the Amazon Web Service ecosystem is quite wide. For example, Wasabi is S3 compatible, and then there are also self-hosted S3 servers like Min.io. If you self-host your own, if you self-host and you need your own object storage for some reason, then Min.io is a pretty good option. Any more questions for this stream about servers and self-hosting? If there are no more questions, then I will just switch to the free chat for a while and then end the stream. I don't have a lot more to talk about, self-hosting here. The stream content is basically done. I'm basically just browsing over things in here. Yeah, this is the headsnub provider that I use, and a very interesting thing is that they have like server auction, where you can buy servers that were previously used. Server auction, bid on servers and save. No minimum contract period and no setup fees. This is an option if you want it really you want really cheap servers. This is an option, but yeah. It exists somewhat. If there are not more questions, then I will just switch to the free chat right now. And yeah, this is yeah. Okay, I would just to say thank you everyone for joining in my first content live stream here. Yeah, I hope you enjoy what I'm talking about here, which is servers and self-hosting. And if you like what you see, yeah, please subscribe and like this stream. I would really appreciate it. I will be announcing the first Discord server event. Yeah, I will announce my first Discord server event soon. Around like after this stream perhaps. So yeah, please watch my Twitter space for the announcement. Yeah, I used to using Hatsner but switched to PHP Friends since they offer affordable PDS. Yeah, I don't have an idea what PHP Friends is, but yeah, I will check it later. And yeah, thank you for coming into my stream. There will be an announcement after this, so yeah. Okay, yeah, see you later everyone.